for him. It's not normal that we're rooting for him to come from behind.
I think only because he hasn't had the run through practice and qualifying that he and we were hoping for him.
129.2 on his stocker, but so far just 125.9. That was on Monday on his Honda Superbike.
Yeah, well, that was a good lap for his stocker. It was a standing start and short lap, both of which affects the time and make it a slightly slower time. So right off the bat, that was with no setup time on that bike whatsoever. So that was pretty good.
Michael Rutter is about to head off as well on his Batham's Ales BMW.
Hey, how is he on the Honda?
No, that was definitely
the
BMW.
Yeah, okay.
Just had a look at the front fairings there, sort of big bulbous front fairings. Here we go then, number 3, Dean Harrison is going to be first off down Bray Hill. Off he goes, 2019 senior TT winner. He had 6 TT podiums here last year.
Yeah, standing start off the line, straight up through the gearbox. They're in top gear before they get going down Bray Hill, and 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds, and by the time they've done 5 6, they're doing way over 130 miles an hour.
Speaking of 130, Sean Anderson joined the 130 club, of course. He's just away, and Peter Hickman then, as he set to grace down on the grid, he's going to do 2 flying laps, all being well, on his Superbike. Now Hickman has not timed any of the big bike timesheets just yet. He was very fast, of course, on his Super Twin.
James Hillier really steadily away there. Always fairly circumspect is James.
Brooks has been doing really well on the Superbike. T5 up to now with 129.2.
Yeah, he has, and also, most notably, the fastest through the speed trap as well at 205 miles per hour.
And strangely, he's going back out on his Superbike, but he needs to kind of, I think, work on that Superstock by the end of the day, being down at P15 at 126 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's absolutely bang on the money there. There is some work to do. In fact, it seems like most riders have got quite a big task list ahead of today and into tonight.
Yeah, because most of them are covering 4 classes.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of work to do if you get hold up.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, but with 2 days missing,
then that's a big ask.
Michael Dunlop heads out then on his Superstocker. 128.8 was his best on Wednesday on his Stocker. His best, of course, outright on that 134.7.
No mistaking the man just away there. That's Phil Crow.
Big Phil. A few difficulties engine-wise a couple of days ago as Davo Johnson heads away on his Platinum Club Racing Kawasaki.
Oh, Dunlop's on the gas.
He is. You see, that was a full jump. Front wheel lifts, then the back wheel leaves the ground. You can see the back wheel bouncing as it lands.
Let's see what sort of mood Michael Dunlop's in here today after 2 days missing. We mentioned other than a bit of mist over the mountains, but good conditions.
Watch the rear wheel, watch it bounce. Look.
Yeah, that's cool.
Boom.
Wow,
yeah.
Pretty good though, pretty stable.
Yeah, kept going straight, which is what you want.
Looking at Sean Anderson, I believe. Speaking to his crew chief, Nathan, today, he's really happy with everything. They haven't really touched a click on the bike since they've been here.
Yeah, big old Nathan. Back restorer as well is Nathan.
Hickman's catching him on track.
You would expect that.
It's a beautiful bike as well, that.
Yeah, lovely. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice colours and well turned out.
Proper retro sort of colours.
Yeah.
And Sean Anderson is a tidy rider as well. There is James Hillier. A different sort of demeanour, it feels like, with James Hillier, TT 2024.
That's what his crew say. And he's had the same crew for sort of best part of 12 years.
I think that Baja experience is probably quite therapeutic, you know, that would thin you out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the Dakar.
Dakar.
Absolutely.
What did I say? Baja, Dakar.
So Peter Hickman then is about to get past, or certainly attempt to try and find a way through on Sean Anderson, which is easier said than done. He's no slouch, Anderson, but already he's winding through and past Anderson on the road.
Yes.
Guinness is away then.
I think he's really a dark horse this fortnight. He's just steady away. He's not having a lot of issues with anything, and I think if he feels comfortable on the day, we could see him fighting for a podium.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he's a dark horse in terms of pulling something out of the bag, considering his age and the time he's been around. But he's had a clean run, always smiling when you see him, knows what he needs from a bike, and I think he's got it.
He really wants to get back to that form back like in, I believe it was 2015 or such. He did 132.7, and he would love to match beat that.
You're dead right. That was his fastest year.
Well,
His last win.
that flag
Oh.
has been out on the approach to Glen Helen all week so far. Dean Harrison is the first through there. Number 3 on the Honda UK machine.
I don't know why. Difficult to see.
Do you know what? That's not bad at all, that first sector. That's faster than Davey Todd on Wednesday through sector 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always his fastest sector. He loves that first sector.
That bodes well.
That does go well.
Jamie Coward is next through. Of course, he's out on his stocker.
That's nice, you know, Jamie. Nice. Good road style.
Peter Hickman, though, has just gone. We're looking at Davey Todd on the helicopter, of course. Fastest in Superbike, fastest in Superstock so far this week. As we've been saying time and time again, he has been flying. Everything he's ridden on so far, he's taken it to a podium. Henke is flying. At 4:14 through the first
That is
sector.
quick.
For a first sector, that is not
This
too
year.
shabby. James Hillier goes through. Steady away this first lap for Hillier.
Yep.
Hickman. Davey Todd has just gone
Todd,
through.
P2.
4:15, yeah, P2 for Todd.
Yeah, a big lift over the second part of the Glen Helen section.
Just mention as well, for those of you that have seen it or maybe haven't seen it, if you keep a look on the TT socials, an onboard lap with Davey Todd called Behind the Visor.
Pretty cool.
It will give you goosebumps.
You can see him blinking and like look at.
The camera was faster now. How was that not intrusive?
I don't want to mention. I don't want to say anything. Oh, okay. Makes me nervous.
Just a second separating Peter Hickman and Davey Todd on the superbikes to Glen Helen, with Dean Harrison a further 2.7 down. McGuinness 4th, but only 3.5 seconds down on his teammate Dean Harrison. Josh Brooks went through on his Monster Energy FHO Racing BMW 5th. As we look here at number 30 in the Stockers, that is AJ Venter with his leg out, which perhaps suggests he's about to pull over to one side somewhere.
Yeah, the South African's got it. Just know that he's got an issue.
Michael Dunlop on his stocker, 4:18 through sector 1. He's 2. That is set for the fastest sector 1 of any stocker thus far.
I've noticed about that Milwaukee BMW of Davey Todd. There's a lot of electronic interruption there. You know, you see the traction control and electronics are cutting in really quite a lot.
Rob Boston's had a really great TT so far.
Yep, it has.
They're still lifting it up as if there's some water there. I think he'll see it next lap that it's not necessary.
Yeah, but the flags are out. So you're going to think that.
Rob Hodson's best lap. He joined the 130 Club, of course, last year here at the Isle of Man TT. And yeah, I agree, Mark. He's been chipping away pretty well so far at the start of this one on his FNT Honda.
He's one of many riders that have opted to just stick with a Superstock bike for both the Superbikes, the stock and the senior, which I think is, you know, could really work well when you just get really consistently used to one machine.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think spending the extra 50 or 60 grand to put all the components on to upgrade it to a superbike is probably not worth it for most of the teams.
Especially on a budget when you've got to keep maintaining that.
Correct. Yeah.
Peter Hickman has just gone through to Balaf, 7 minutes, 18.1. That is not bad at all. That's, for a standing start, I mean, that's only 11 seconds down on the fastest ever second sector.
You know, if you drive your car or ride your bike out to Balaf, that takes ages. It's a long way. I don't know exactly how far, but it's a long way.
It's not 7 minutes.
It's not 7 minutes.
Sean Anderson has just gone through to Balaf as well. It's Hickman, Harrison, Brooks through at the moment. And Davey Todd has just gone through there as well. And is not far away. Hickman and Todd are separated by just 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, it's nearly the same time.
Just looking at the Superbike splits, the best that we've seen. 8 seconds off the best ever second split to Balaf.
Dean Harrison's still quite not at the edge, at the sharp edge like the other two at the moment.
This is Matt Stevenson, who is on the cusp of unofficially getting his fastest ever lap. If you tuned in on Wednesday, the Defabet Kawasaki rider who broke his leg on day one here at the TT last year. Really hoping to make steps forward. Should get into those 1-2-4s without too much drama.
Connor Cummins to Glen Helen seems to be struggling with his superbike once again.
Yeah.
Well, we got a shot of him at Glen Helen, and it looks steady.
It's the same old story, unfortunately. You have to feel sorry for Connor Cummins. Health-wise, fitness-wise, the 38-year-old Manxman is on top form, and yet the superbike at the moment is just not playing ball at all.
It's not. Last year came in at the TT fairly fit, and then got some kind of mystery virus that really felled him.
Maybe we'll see him choose to go with Superstock for the rest. You never know.
It's possible, isn't it? It is very possible. Of course, I guess they'll make that call later because they can't afford to be spending. It's so costly, isn't it? If you go out on a bike and you know that there's problems with it, there's a long way round here. You don't want to be losing out on track time.
Harrison through Schoolhouse.
Nice.
Yeah, we're talking about the difference between Superstock and Superbike. Sometimes it's a mix. You can upgrade your Superstock bike without buying everything. You start probably with the brakes.
Throw some brakes on just for the senior.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can do as much as you want or you can afford, really.
Through Schoolhouse for Peter Hickman now. Just saw the speed trap times there. Josh Brooks topping it in Superbikes, 203 mile an hour down the Selby Straight.
Once again,
197 for Dunlop on the stock, and it's not hanging around on a Superstock bike. Now on the approach then.
this would be quite telling to see how the gap is into Ramsey.
Yeah, Dean Harrison to Ramsey, 10 minutes and 40, and it's 10:29
Wow.
for Peter Hickman.
Looking at 11 seconds.
Yeah, this is a really strong lap for Peter Hickman. Peter Hickman's 2024 TT might just be starting right here.
Here comes Todd up to Hillier.
Hillier's, I don't know if Hillier's just having a really steady start to this lap or whether he's got any issues at all. Davey Todd is all over the back end of him. There's Josh Brooks going through the bottom of your picture, and Todd immediately using his short circuit skill to go through on Hillier.
That is not an easy place to pass.
It's not.
It's bumpy. Yeah, the brakes too. You're at the bottom of the fork tubes.
Davey Todd is second quickest through to Ramsey. And again, it's so tight. There's just the tenths of a second between Peter Hickman and Davey Todd.
And he probably lost that in that in passing James Hillier there.
He does mean business
Going,
this
isn't it?
year, the 28-year-olds. It's fantastic to see. Of course, you do wonder, don't you, had we not have missed out on a couple of years due to COVID, Davey Todd probably, you could argue, would already be a TT winner by now.
I think so, and he's been a little bit unlucky as well. He's had machine failure, he's had some tyre issues.
Michael Dunlop to Ramsey.
Look at these three legends out on the road. Dunlop, McGuinness and Ian Hutchinson just in the background there. There's a few TTs between those guys. Dunlop 10:38.8. 8 seconds down. Davey Todd's best on the superbike, so it's pretty good from Dunlop on the stocker. We are going to see, by the looks of things, our fastest laps of the week so far.
Yep.
Around Schoolhouse there for Mike Brown on his RSV4 Aprilia, just going through on Rob Hodson.
Go on, credit.
Brown already the fastest rider on an Aprilia around the island and going really well actually across all classes.
Yeah, seems really happy. You go and talk to him, and he's enjoying it.
Through to Ramsey then, it's Hickman, Todd, Harrison.
Oh, wow.
Rob Hodson
Get off.
straight back onto his feet, which is great
Yeah,
to see.
they need the oil flags out, because I would suspect there'll be some fluids down there.
Yeah. The fastest time, 131.821 from Michael Dunlop second, Peter Hickman third overall with McGuinness in terms of his superbike, anyway fourth, ahead of Josh Brooks and Dave Johnson. Sean Anderson is 7th quickest, with Dom Herbertson on the Burrows Engineering, RK Racing, BMW 8th, and Hillier 9th, Harrison 10th. These are the combined qualifying times from Monday and Wednesday. James Hind 11th ahead of Craig Neve, with Rutter there, Phil Crow, Connor Cummins struggling, of course, on the Paget Honda, and Erno Costano, the finish ride. I think has made some time up as well. Well, that's just the sector time to the bungalow. Not far away. Josh Brooks as well. Pretty good sector for him. There's Michael Dunlop with John McGuinness there in the background.
Just going to say, he's pulled out some time on John McGuinness. It looked like at Ramsey, John McGuinness was kind of having a look at getting back past.
Third quickest of anyone actually through to the bungalow, Michael Dunlop, but remember he's out there on his stocker.
Yeah.
Second fastest stocker to the bungalow at present is Coward and Hutchie. Ian Hutchinson, number 4, third.
And this is Jamie Coward, heading down towards Greg.
The bungalow, Michael Dunlop, but remember he's out there on his stocker.
Yeah.
Second fastest stocker to the bungalow at present is Coward and Hutchie. Ian Hutchinson, number 4, third.
And this is Jamie Coward, heading down towards Greg.
Great spot to watch. Of course, by the time we get racing, there'll be lots of cheering going on here for various riders as we get underway with racing here tomorrow on the island. Be packed over at the Craig.
Always packed at the Craig. Great place to watch, and you can get a brew and some food as well.
We're about to see our first laps then, our first flying lap, shall we say. Crocknamona, Dean Harrison is through there, so he's going to be the first over the line. He's just entering the final sector now. Not a lot of time between Crocknamona and the grandstand here.
Dean Harrison seems to be closing the gap with Hickman at every sector.
And this is going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, his best lap of the week so far. Peter Hickman has just gone through naturally and is a touch quicker. We've got some good laps coming in here. Some really good laps. The fastest that we've seen so far on the island. It's a big, big day here for Isle of Man 2024 with catching up to do after 2 days of cancellations. Hickman goes through Crocknamona. I can hear already Dean Harrison ready to come over the line. He's coming down the front straight and over the line we go. 132.143 is the fastest time of the week so far, but it's about to be bettered because Peter Hickman will be coming through past us here as we keep track of Dean Harrison for now, just coming down Bray Hill. Peter Hickman, 133.8 from a standing start, takes the fastest time of the week.
That's proper.
And perhaps now the TT has started for Peter Hickman. Let's go down to Rick in pit lanes with Lee Hardy.
Yes, Lee Hardy, alongside me, thanks for your time, Lee. And Davey Johnson on your books again this year. It's going quite well then.
Yeah, we're going really well. 5 years away from the TT, so it's always going to be hard coming back. But with the Kawasaki ZX-10RR this time, and yeah, we're really happy, really. Like I say, Davo set off there through practice week, and probably I'd say pretty much probably best I've seen him go in the practice week, you know. So I'm happy. The times are good. He's happy with the bike. The pace is good. Just made some small changes for a 1 lap run there on the Superbike now, and then going to come back in and jump on the Stocker to go and do 2 laps. So yeah, really pleased how things are going so far.
Yeah, appreciate the changes. They're just small. They're just finessing at this point. Can you elaborate in any way?
Yeah, it's just a small change on the rear shock really. We'd sort of gone to an area where we probably hadn't been here before. You know, it was quite stiff on the rear spring, and I think over the mountain it was really good, but through the sort of lower down area, you know, the pipe was just a bit twitchy over the bumps. So we made a change there to the spring. We made a valve change with the K-Tech product that we're using, and hopefully that's going to give him a bit more feel for what he's looking for. So with that, hopefully it'll come time. You know, he's up at the moment through the bungalow, so should be probably a high 128, 129 lap here, hopefully.
Qualifying week's been stop-starts, frustrating for the competitors. What challenges does it pose for Team Boss?
Well, I wouldn't say so much for me as a team boss. Obviously, it's quite frustrating for the team itself in terms of when you're up and down. But you know, it is what it is, and you can't do anything about it. At the end of the day, the rider's paramount is safety. The safety is the paramount thing that we need to look at. And you know, I think the decisions that Gary makes up there with his team are the right decisions. So it is what it is. You know, you have to just make use of the track time you've got. And although it's a bit windy now, the conditions are quite good out there tonight or today, and I think they will be tonight. So yeah, we're happy. You know, it is what it is, and you just have to make the best of it.
Superbike race on Sunday coming up. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, hopefully we can be up there, to be fair. You know, for us, the type of team that we've got, the rider with Davo and the machinery we've got, you know, we'd like to be knocking on the door of that top 5. Realistically, you know, anywhere in the top 8, but if we can be pushing that top 5, that's where we want to be, really.
Really, best luck for the rest of the CT.
Thank you.
Wow, there has been some laps coming in since you last joined us. Davey Todd there, number 8 on the Milwaukee BMW, 133.942. Not only is that the fastest time of the week so far at the TT, it's his best lap by 7.3 seconds. Remember, from a standing start, and it's now off on another as well.
You would think that would be another about 4 seconds.
That's a replay of McGuinness. 130.1 for John McGuinness.
Go on.
Back into the 130s.
Go on, lad. If it please, it won't be pleased with that.
Mike Brown is just gone over the line. 129.1 for him on his Superstock.
Josh Brooks quicker today at 131.3, quickest so far for him on the fortnight.
Dunlop 132.1, fastest in the Superstocks from Coward, Brown, Neve 128.2 for Craig Neve. So good effort from him as well. But Davey Todd in Superbikes 133.942 from Peter Hickman, Dean Harrison, Josh Brooks and McGuinness. We said it on the build-up to the TT that if Davey Todd wants to get himself some silverware, he is going to have to take a step. That's quite a significant one.
It is. We could see it coming up from the beginning of the week. We're confident, no real messing about with the bike. He just looked to be getting on with it.
So, just getting up the stand. Dean Harrison then has just gone through to Glen Helen. This is Peter Hickman. Now coming through himself, 412.2. Not a lot to split them. Pretty level there, just under 2 tenths.
I can tell you that Nicky's pushing on there because it's a little bit wide at Sarah's Cottage there.
Pushing on, it's 3 seconds off the outright record for the first second. So that's going some for sure. What about Davey Todd though? He'll be coming through Glen Helen shortly as well. A couple of other riders that have just gone over the line. Nathan Harrison, 127.9. So that's another good step for Nathan. Julian Trummer, 124.7. McCormack, 124.6. Davo Johnson's in the 129s. 129.3 for Dave. Dom Herbertson, 128.2. So some really good laps coming in, guys. Fantastic to see. Paul Jordan as well. Paul has just done 127.0. That's not far off his best on a superbike. Davey Todd is faster to Glen Helen then. 1.3 up on Peter Hickman. 4 minutes and 10 seconds, 0.9 to Glen Helen. That is 1.7 seconds off the superbike lap record split.
Wow.
He's shifting.
He is shifting. That's a confident Davey Todd.
He's shifting, and Steve Plater at the moment in the studio is getting sweaty palms. As Michael Dunlop then pulls in and is getting ready to now head back out on his superbike. We had a moment earlier on with an incident and a crash for Rob Hodson. Pleased to report that Rob got straight onto his feet and is absolutely fine. So good news for Rob. We now catch a glimpse here of Dean Harrison. You would imagine that this Dean will be, okay, Davey Todd, Peter Hickman have got a bit more time, but this is 2 laps now on the superbike.
Yeah, you can see just how much of this course the front wheel on these superbikes spends in the air. It just 3 or 4 times there we just saw the front wheel really lifting. You've got to kind of control that either with the throttle or with, these days it's more often the rear brake you use to keep that front end from going too high.
We'll be getting Dean towards at some point shortly as riders continue to cross past us here on the start-finish straight. The top standings in Superstock, Dunlop 132.1 ahead of Coward, but of course most are out there on their super bikes. Nathan Harrison there, as we mentioned, 127.9 for him. Harrison's up to Balaf, 7 minutes and 19.063, and Hickman will be quick to follow.
Yep, this the Red Cullen section, big jump, and then into the trees. This is now the building you see under kind of renovation. There is the Bishop's Court.
Dean Harrison has got the better of Peter Hickman on the approach to Balaf. 7.21 for Hickman. Don't know if Hickman had a moment or if this is just a better lap from Dean. We'll find out how that compares to Davey Todd in a moment.
To be fair, Dean's just now getting some laps. He's getting some miles. You know, and he's just now starting to feel what this bike's going to do.
He's a day behind. Yep, and you'd expect this.
It's a good sign for the future for Dean on very much bike.
Yep.
Michael Russell has just gone over the line, 121.1. David Rigby, 121.5.
Unmistakable Connor Cummins.
Not looking quite so happy.
No.
You have to feel sorry for Connor. Just not going his way at all at the moment. It looks like they're already doing a bit of work there. Clive's working on his Malenko by Padgett's bike.
Yeah, it was pressuring the rear shock there. That's changing the rear suspension settings.
Davey Todd again faster up to Balaf, 1.9 clear of Dean Harrison. There's not a lot in it though. Josh Brooks to Balaf is third quickest. He's quicker than his teammate Hickman.
Yeah.
That's really good from Josh. His best ever lap around here, 132.5. John McGuinness has just gone through, 7.25 for him. At the speed trap, it's still Brooks in charge from Hickman. The two Monster Energy FHO bikes not lacking in speed. In fact, the BMWs across the board there, 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah. Fast bike, powerful bike, especially at the top end.
Davey Todd at the moment, the way he's going, he started this week off, and we all knew he'd have to improve on that 132.9. It's unofficial, of course, I will point that out, but he's well on his way here to 134 lap. As things stand, a 205.2 then. Josh Brooks has just gone through the speed trap and has matched his PB speed from Wednesday. Saw there, Superbike of number 35, Mark Parrott, who's done more than a few.
Oh my gosh, he's done
TTs.
85 of these things. You know, I wonder why Josh Brooks' bike is so fast in a straight line. It's been consistent ever since day one of this fortnight. He had a few mile an hour on everybody else. Well, I wonder why.
Well, no difference can be getting tucked in, I think. It's the same, it's going to be the same bike as Peter Hickman.
A little smaller, isn't it?
Yeah,
Lighter
yeah,
than
that's
Peter,
what I mean,
but
just getting tucked in.
4 mile an hour, 5 mile an hour consistently is, I mean, that's a nice little...
It's quite a lot. Big shoulders, I think.
Could it be anything to do with the sort of quarry bends on the lead to Selby or not?
What, you think he's getting out of quarry bench quicker than the fastest
No,
man
I'm
ever
not
around?
saying, I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I know.
Could it be a tooth on the sprocket, as simple as like a little bit lighter, a little bit different gearing?
But if it was that easy, then really, if it was just as easy, I don't think it's just getting tucked in. That's what I think.
Jamie Carrott's had a strong start to the TT 2024. Kevin from KTS is now standing by in pit lane with Rick.
Kevin, it's been a fantastic qualifying week so far for your guy, Jamie Carrott. How's it getting on out there?
Yeah, it's nice to get back on track, and we are struggling a little bit for setup on the big bike from where we left off last year, but we'll just have to keep going at it till see if we can find the sort of in-between setting that suits him on a full tank, and you know, sort of when the fuel load's going off, he starts to suffer a little bit, but no, we'll try and we'll keep going at it and see where we end up.
Caught up with Jamie yesterday. He's a very relaxed guy at the best of times. He seems super relaxed given how well he's finished. He was top 6 in all qualifying the other day. He topped Super Twin. He was second in Super Sport as well. It doesn't seem to phase him any of this.
No, he seems quite relaxed. We've got a really good within the team. It's more like a family team. Everybody's fairly happy. Keep him relaxed and just try and keep him in a good place.
Yeah, obviously the KTS team really seems to have moved him up a notch as well. We hear so much about factory teams. You would say, I'm guessing, maybe the move to a factory team might be overrated.
Yeah, look at what's happening in the paddock with the other bigger teams, and I think, to be fair, that sometimes we feel like we're punching above our weight, but most of the times the results speak for themselves.
A few years ago we were speaking about Jamie like he was, obviously he was a newcomer, he was in his 20s, and it's very different now, he's in his 30s, he's one of the best guys out there. That brings with an expectation. What are Jamie's expectations, what are KTS's expectations for the rest of TT?
I think every time we come to TT, our main expectation is to go quicker than we did the year before. which we've always managed to do so far, so fingers crossed we can maintain that this year. We never put any pressure on Jamie whatsoever. If the results come, it's all good and well.
What's the last thing you say to him before he heads out?
Say that again, sorry.
What's the last thing you say to him before he heads out? Are there any words of advice?
We actually have a bit of a joke and ask him to pick up the Sunday Mail or whatever day of the week it is, get us a paper and class it as a paper run, keep him relaxed. But no, there's never any pressure from the team. Just relax, enjoy it. If it's not right, come back in and we'll see if we can do better for him.
After today, big weekend of racing ahead. What are your thoughts and what are your hopes, I guess, for Saturday?
Yeah, again, I think if we can go better than we did last year, and we're always sort of sniffing the podium on the bigger bikes. Super Twin, we know what you can do on that. So fingers crossed we can maybe make one of the 3 steps on the podium this year. They're really good.
The pace now on Superstock, you've got to be 1:34.5, even 1:35 to be in with a chance of a win. Do you believe Jamie's capable of that pace?
I think last year, we finished on a 1:32. Yeah, I believe if we can get the bike in the right place for him, we shouldn't be too far away.
Kevin, best of luck for the rest of the CT.
Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much to Rick. Thanks to Kev there from KTS. Keeping track of Jamie Coward, who's currently second in the Superstock standings. In terms of Superbike, Josh Brooks was fastest to Ramsey Hairpin. Ahead of Harrison, Todd, Hickman. So both Todd and Hickman have slowed quite considerably there. Not sure about what the reasons are behind that at the moment as we look here at Dean Harrison.
Yep, flying up Hills Rise to the highest point on the course.
There is Mark Woodidge, and that's Amy, Josh Brooks' wife, and FHO as well, all keeping track on the times for Josh Brooks. His teammate Peter Hickman heads up towards the bungalow and is down on Dean Harrison, as we mentioned. Something must have happened there for Hickman on this lap because he's sort of slowed consistently throughout this lap.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, we don't think it's a single incident like a run on and a turnaround. This is a gradual losing of time as it goes on, so you'd think a machine issue.
Here comes Brooks then, at the bungalow. Number 7. He was top through the last sector. He's just off Dean Harrison there. 1.9 down on the Honda UK Racing rider. Looks pretty smooth and steady though, doesn't it, Josh?
Always does, yeah. And that normally pays dividends around here.
From our commentary box window over at the mountain, you can just see that mist is still there.
I think it's alright though. It's not getting any worse.
Connor Cummins is back out on the Superbike now. So this will be a big test. Come on, Conrad, let's see if we can get a lap in on the Superbike. Desperately needs a decent lap here. Connor Cummins on that Superbike.
This is one of the points where they've got to watch out that wind. It is brisk. That was a windy corner. This John McGuinness at the bungalow over the tram lines.
Just kind of looking back in the field a little bit, Nathan Harrison, currently in P5 in Superstock, doing 127.9. He's finding his feet again.
Yeah.
That's just slightly off his personal best as well, Nathan Harrison, so that's fantastic. The rider, of course, who made his debut in 2022 as a newcomer, as a Manx graduate, but then injured last year. He was also injured, to be fair, at the start of this year as well, back in March, crashing in Spain in a test. He was off the bike for 8 weeks.
A little further back, you see, I just missed it, Brian McCormick, who's doing a very steady job in 10th place. He's actually he's healing from a broken leg still from crashing at Macau. He broke his tib fib and still went on to Thailand, by the way. He didn't want to upset his crew that was all looking forward to it. So he like patched it up and they went ahead and made the trip. But Brian McCormick doing well in 10th.
Yeah, well, you've got to say, if anybody's going to be able to do that, it's him, a big, strong fella, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fairly sure Joey Thompson's just posted his fastest ever lap around the course. It's his first time on a big bike as well. No? Fastest big bike, yeah. So 123.024. He was saying to us yesterday.
A little bit frightened of it.
Yeah, he was a little bit frightened of it. So, but that's a step in the right direction for Joey.
Different gravy than the Supersport bike, I think.
Dean Harrison then 131.9 for Dino, and that, in terms of Superbike, puts him. Well, he was 132.1 previously, so maybe course conditions just holding 1 or 2 back at the moment. Dean Harrison, mind you, the good news is for Dean, James, is that that's now 2 solid laps on the Superbike.
Yeah. Valuable for him.
Paul Jordan continues to impress. He's P6 currently in the Superstock trim after the second lap, 127.0, ride for the Jackson Racing team. Just still acclimating to the big bikes, he was telling me this morning.
Yeah, he said he was going to make a really big push this year at the TT to get to grips with the bigger bike.
Another rider that said they have not touched the settings since the Northwest. He just loves that Fireblade, absolutely loves it. They haven't changed a thing, and he's just riding it. And you know, a little bit of the arrow again, where they're kind of lifting it, making it a little bit wider, just to get everybody behind the bubble,
Get a bit more comfortable.
Josh Brooks has just gone over the line then, 131.5, and likewise Hickman, 130.7. Those guys no doubt will be coming into pit lane now. And right on cue, we've got the FHO boss herself. FHO is with Rick.
FHO, good stuff so far from both Peter and Josh. What are you making of it?
You know, it's great to be back on the island for another year for the TT. So, you know, obviously it's one of the iconic events here. So it's just, I mean, for me it's fantastic. And obviously with the boys, you know, they're doing fantastically, both of them. So I can't ask for anything better.
You just arrived yesterday?
Yes, I did. I came in yesterday morning. So obviously last night got cancelled, and then you know today we've got nearly full day going. So I'm just gonna see how the boys do.
And what are your instructions to the boys then this year and the whole FHO team behind us?
I don't really have any instructions, but you know, as long as everyone is safe and you know we have a good race, I think that's the most important thing.
FHO has made such a massive impact at the TT in recent years, so many victories already. Do you feel the pressure to keep performing?
Oh, I do feel a little bit, but I tend to do everything the same, so I'm doing everything the same as what I did the previous 2 years, so whatever I did, I'm doing the same this year, so fingers crossed, the same.
Are Josh and Peter relaxed this year? Do they feel good?
They seem relaxed to me, so I mean, you know, I think we as a team we work really well together.
First racing obviously tomorrow. The night before the first race at the TT, is it usually a long night in the paddock for the FHO team, just trying to get everything dialed in?
Yeah, so the boys will be on it tonight, so but we'll get everything ready for tomorrow.
Very good luck for the rest of the TT.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much to Faye, thanks to Rick. There is Peter Hickman, who's back in pit lane. And I can tell you that so far in this qualifying here on Friday, we have had our fastest times posted. Davey Todd was the fastest from a standing start, 133.942. His fastest ever lap around the island, ahead of Hickman, who did 133.8 with Harrison in third.
Yeah, this looks like Dean Harrison out on his Superstock bike. I think it looked like a more standard tank. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with how his bike was going in Superstock trim earlier in the week.
Looked good on you as well.
Brooks 131.5, McGuinness 130.1, so John McGuinness is back into the 130s. In terms of Superstock, Michael Dunlop was the first out and he posted a 132.135 ahead of Jamie Howard and Mike Brown. 129.1 for Mike Brown.
Excellent.
It's so close to his best ever lap around here on the Aprilia RSV4 as well. There were so many question marks about that bike. How would it handle around the TD? How would Mike acclimatise to it as well? That's excellent.
Also that's so that is it's kind of power capped to make it kind of on par with the 1000. So that was another unknown.
Yeah, still got that mid-range, I'll bet, though, grunting off the tire.
Yeah, that the B4 engine does now give you some mid-range.
So here's Michael.
Yeah,
Bungalow.
and get all the latest sectors here on lap 2 of the Superbikes. Just trying to keep track here of Michael's best through there, but can't quite catch at the moment. And Josh Brooks now then does go out on his Superstock bike. You mentioned that earlier, Mark. He needed a lap or two in on it, and here goes the Aussie.
I think he'll probably, just taking a guess, he's going to do very well on the Stalker now after getting off of riding the Superbike very, very well. He should be able to get back on to this one and just wring its neck.
Yeah, a little bit easier that way around than the other.
Right, Davey Todd then, his fastest ever lap of the island. Let's catch up with him now. He's with Grace.
Davey, your fastest ever lap of the island. You're topping the timesheets. I heard in an interview yesterday that you were surprised when you were topping the timesheet the other day. Are you just as surprised now, or is it feeling good out there?
Yeah, it's feeling really good. Honestly, I was super surprised the other day when we were quickest, because we made a big change to the setup, and it was completely the wrong way. So it made the bike a lot worse. So I was amazed that we did that lap time of 31.8 or whatever it was. So I was so surprised. So knew then. When we changed the bike back to even where it was before, and now we've done a couple of improvements on top of that, but even going back to where we were, I knew there was a lot more in the bag, you know.
So how are you looking towards the setup now? Are you going to keep it the same, or are there still changes to make?
Yeah, we've still got a bunch of changes to make. I still feel like I've actually got a lot in hand, like some more pace. I'm feeling really comfortable. The Milwaukee BMW guys are doing a fantastic job with the bike, so I'm over the moon with it, honestly.
And which bike are you heading out on next?
I think we're going to leave the Stocker till this afternoon and get changed and get ready for the Supersport session.
We'll see you out there.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks very much, Grace. Great stuff then from Davey Todd, this form.
Normally doing it himself.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's a really good team, that, isn't it? The FHO Racing, Burrows Engineering.
Absolutely. Supporting the TT a long number of years. They've got a really nice bike, well turned out bike.
They know they're racing.
Yeah, normally Dub's working from the smallest garage in the world on the side of his house. It's a tiny little garage.
I saw your interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky when you move up into a team. It's not as easy as you think. You're like, oh, everything's done for you. Now there's extra pressure. You have to actually communicate, and you have to remember what the bike's doing so you can actually relay it back to the team and let them come to a conclusion of change with you, as opposed to just taking it all on yourself, including not doing well.
Yeah, and every rider's different. Some are really good at explaining what's going on with the bike. Some need a technician that can kind of decipher it a little bit. Some riders try to do all the work themselves and tell the technicians exactly what changes to make to the bike. They're all different.
This is Dean Harrison out on his Stocker. Michael Dunlop has gone over the line on his Superbike, 131.592 from Michael. So in terms of Superbike standings, that puts him into fourth. Still Davey Todd quickest in Superbike trim.
Going back down in the field a little bit, we have some personal bests with Jamie Kringle, Eddie Farmer, and Tom Robinson, all doing better than they've ever done before.
Yeah, and a shout out to Eddie Farmer. We were talking with Phil Wayne actually just before this, and we were talking about some of the French riders that are coming over. Amalric Blanc as well is also already bettered his best time. He was into the 124s. That was on Wednesday, by the way. So really good to see. In fact, he's just gone over the line as we speak. The number 43, Amalric Blanc, 125.4, which betters it again.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, and as we're getting a lot of French riders at the TT, there's a lot more.
Josh
French
is back.
interest.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, back. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Come up the road, or
he's obviously found he shortcut that. Turned off at Quarter Bridge, maybe.
is this Julian? Yes, it is Julian Trummer on the Jackson Racing.
A couple other riders just to mention that have gone over the line and done pretty well there. Phil Crow again in the 127s, almost in the 128s. Dave Johnson continuing his form, he's 128.8. Craig Neve 129.448 on the Bath Males Honda. That's just a touch away from his best ever lap around here.
Yeah, the Jackson bikes, Jackson Racing bikes, have turned out of almost as small a garage as Dominic Herbertson's, but in Lancashire they do a cracking job. It is their life, in actual fact. They put everything into it.
Paul Jordan and Julian Trummer racing for them on the big bikes here.
Got Connor going back out.
Back out on the Stocker. He said to us a couple of days ago, Super Sport, he's really happy with. He could just run and run and run on that. The Super Stock seems to be the next best. Superbike is where a few of the issues have been. That's actually Ian Hutchinson about to head out. Isn't okay again? Look at that. That's
Oh yeah, with
the graphic of somebody in plaster cast, and he's been in a few of those in his time. Ian Hutchinson heading out then for another lap. Sean Anderson has just gone over the line, 127.7. So another steady lap from him.
Amy preparing the Super Sport leathers up.
So the big news then from Superbike and Superstock. Dunlop quickest in Superstock, 132.1, but Davey Todd taking that step he needed to, as we expected, 133.9, makes him the fastest man on the island so far this year, Matt.
Yeah, really impressive from Davey Todd on the Superbike. He's obviously happy with the Stocker, Steve, because he decided to leave it parked for now and get out on the Supersport bike. But what about that time on the Superbike?
Yeah, it's all right. No, seriously, you know, I said earlier, it's just really comfy, you know, and I think, in all fairness, that's, you know, I think his previous fastest was a 32.9 before this season, and that was a 33.9. It was held up quite considerably. Cameron and I were watching at Ramsey through that section, so it's probably a 34 if he was on his own, but the good thing is he's just chipping away and progressing, and like I said, he seems quite, you know, relaxed. We've been watching him at various areas around the course, and he doesn't seem to be overriding anywhere, so fair play, using his head.
To put that into perspective, so he set a new PB, around a lap, it's over 10 seconds quicker. 10 seconds, like that's an enormous amount of time to make up in a lap. Like, even though there is 250 corners, approximately, that's really, you know, he's riding where he's never ridden before, and to come in and then say he's got plenty in the bag and say it quite convincingly, I mean, you can read in his face that he's a happy chappy, so that's quite daunting for the competition, if you like.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got a bit more to give. How much more do you think, Steve?
I'm not really sure, but not, you know, I'm not going to try and rein him in, or neither will anybody else in the team, but just try and keep him comfy and confident. That's the main thing. You know, I think it's amazing really, because it's not just that. We're seeing realistically, the three top guys just struggling for pace this year a little bit, which we're putting down to conditions and so on, but there's not just David, there's quite a few people achieving personal bests through the field.
All right, let's hear from one of those top three guys now. Hickey is with Grace.
Hickey, you mentioned on the grid you were doing a few laps on your superbike, seeing how it felt. What's the verdict?
Yeah, obviously we made some changes from Wednesday. Yeah, obviously the right direction, you know. Bike feels pretty good, still not perfect. Nothing ever is perfect around here, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Going to make a few more little tweaks, nothing too major. I think was it high 33 then, I think. So yeah, we're somewhere in the ballpark, so happy enough.
And we saw you talking there to your teammate at the Trooper Triumph camp. Any words of advice there?
Yeah, we've just been talking about a few different things, just trying to help Pierre a little bit in a couple of places, but no, everything's good.
And are you looking towards the Super Sport or Super Twin next?
Yeah, I'm going to go on at Super Sport first. I don't even know how long the session is, to be fair. I'll have to have a look, but yeah, it's I'll start on Super Sport and maybe get one on the Twin as well.
Thanks for speaking to us, Hickey.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks very much to Peter Hickman. Thanks to Grace there for catching a word with Peter as well. He's in the 133s then on his superbike. He's about to head out there as Pierre-Yves Bien, his French teammate on the Supersport, about to come out on the Triumphs. Couple of riders, of course, still crossing the line on their superbikes or Superstocks. We can tell you that Joey Thompson has now got his fastest ever lap, of course unofficially, but well done to Joey on his superbike.
Yeah, I think the fastest lap before that was Super Sport, no?
Yeah. A bike that, of course, he's really used to. So that's...
Well, I tell you what, he's going to get back on his Super Sport bike that he loves so much, and now he's going to feel easier right now.
A lot of guys actually feel a little easier on their super sport bikes over these big bikes. You know, you can see the Paul Jordans and all those lads are going to start rising up through the grid, through the results.
Yeah, Paul Jordan, of course,
His super sport class, we're going to see him probably really trying hard.
Conversely, this is one of the newer rule Super Sport bikes, but it's actually the oldest bike in the class. It's a GSXR 750. Natural design dates back to about 2013. That's an old, solid machine.
Solid machine, though.
A brilliant machine. Absolutely fantastic.
expect to see Jim Hines bettering his best lap around here. He was just on the cusp of action here on Wednesday. 125 is his best, but I think we can safely say that we're expecting to see big things from him as Hickman gets away then on his Super Sport machine. Let's get down to Rick in pit lane as these guys head out on their Super Sport and Super Twin machinery. Michael Rotter's standing by. Ah.
Put their helmets just on very quickly. Michael, what's it like out there?
Yeah, conditions okay. Yeah, it's just first 2 laps I've done on the main of Superbike, and yeah, it's the first 2 laps has been the same. So I'm just going to try and get used to it. It's so fast to what I've been used to. So it's holding on to the thing.
Best luck, Michael.
Yeah, thanks to Michael Rutter. About to head back out then on a Super Twin. Here's Rutter. Peter Hickman then, as Mark just mentioned a moment ago, he was 8th quickest overall on Wednesday in Super Sport, so 130.2 is his best on that Trooper Triumph by PHR Performance, but 123 is the best he's managed thus far.
Just saw Don going out on that podium. Yeah, podium finishing Pat from the Northwest.
Yeah, he said actually yesterday, didn't he, that thing is so fast, it's brilliant, and it handles like a 250 GP bike around the island.
That will be a fun class to watch this year.
Yeah,
it could be just anybody.
Because more people can ride them, and there's not the big issues. When you've only got about 100 brake horsepower, it is a lot easier. I'm not saying it's that easy, but it's a lot easier to set a
There's
bike
a lot
up
of
for.
quick ones out there, though.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Of a high state of tune.
Yeah,
across the board. They're more accessible, I think, is another way to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. A good bike is more accessible. Yeah.
Connor Cummins has gone over the line on his superbike, 128.8, so
okay.
That's a good step, let's say, after
it is a great step.
A struggle earlier this week. So Super Sports and Super Twins are out now then, here on the islands. Pretty good conditions, still a bit of clouds over on the mountain, but we've seen some good laps in, and that shows you that the course is there. Peter Hickman then, not had a win in this class for some time. Of course, last year dominated by Michael Dunlop. There's Paul Jordan, number 1. Paul, 123.9 for him on Wednesday, 125.5 his personal best. Again, expect that to be beaten over the course of the next 10 days.
I have a question for you, James.
Yeah.
So Baz Ferber, it says here his bike is listed as a Yamaha MT-07. Is that the same thing as an R7, or is that the actual naked, more stand-up version?
No, the MT-07 is very much a naked stand-up
so is he
version.
racing one around here?
I don't know. It wouldn't be a good move, I don't think.
We're going to have to look out for that, because I'm very curious.
Davey Todd out there on the Power Tool main Ducati.
That's a nice piece of kit.
Beautiful looking bike, and it's ridden well and looks good as well in the capable hands of Davey Todd.
Yeah, I'm really quite surprised that this bike was as quick as it's been. The quickest bike through the speed trap at the end of Silver, and I'm surprised at that because this bike should have lots of mid-range grunt. It should get out of the corners really, really well, but it's a V-twin. Bigger pistons, bigger CCs, and therefore it doesn't technically like revving so much, but a lot of internal weight.
Maybe it's pulling some tall gearing, eh?
Yeah, maybe they've got to gear it correctly, and it's got to be slipping as well to get through 5 miles an hour quicker than anybody else.
Tom Herbertson there on his twin. There is Francesco Coringa, the Italian, on his Team ILR Frog Vehicle Developments pattern.
Pattern with a Kawasaki motor.
You saw David Dancer going up through there on his patent, number 27.
So we'll get Super Sport through shortly into Glen Helen. Hind will be the first through. Nice to see that damp patch has gone there. There we have then Hind into Glen Helen, 4:32.7. Next up, Peter Hickman.
Sounds nice, that. Try and triple.
Sound a little bit down on James Hind, actually. Paul Jordan, the fastest to arrive to Glen Helen. Not a lot in it, 4/10. The 30 in Super Sport is AJ Venter. Just going through on the Super Twin of Chris Moore as well. On his Kawasaki 650.
Do you remember just a couple of years ago when they were all 650 Kawasaki's? It's really nice to see some variety.
Yeah, true.
I think that a lot of that as well. I remember a couple of years ago that particular area you're talking about, Mark, as well. I'm pretty sure it's saying that Lee Johnston was one of the few on an Aprilia at the time, but that bike now is so popular. Of course, really good value for a start. You can buy it and it's ready to go.
It's the big thing is you buy it and it's pretty much ready to go, yeah.
We've got Davey Todd through Glen Helen.
Coward.
Coward.
Well, Coward's just gone through quicker. Now, Jamie Coward showed, of course, here on Wednesday that he is enjoying riding that Triumph. Changed to Triumph for the KTS Racing rider, and that's really good from him. 4 minutes 30.
Is it possible he could catch Davey Todd on the track? Isn't he just behind him?
Possible.
Looks like Davey Todd is on, Cronkey Body Straight, and we've definitely seen Jamie Coward going up out of Sarah Scottish, so yeah.
Through to Bagara for Peter Hickman. Dom Herbertson, of course, quickest in terms of Super Twins to Glen Helen. Number 37, Marcus Simpson is out there on his twinner as well. It's Coward, Todd, Jordan, Hind and Hickman, your top 5. And again, maybe Peter Hickman just not quite up to speed on that Super Sport machine as yet.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Kringle has just gone over the line on his Stocker, 126.2. Dean Harrison on his stock machine has just gone into second overall in the standings with 131.2. So, fair effort from Dino there.
That's Davey Todd blast through the bottom of Bagara. Wheelie, the Super Twins, certainly the Kawasaki's need a lot more tuning to get them up to speed with the Yamahas and the Aprilias. So you wouldn't think so, but the lowest power class is probably the most fragile bikes, I reckon. And plus the fact, around the TT course, they are flat out for a lot more of the time, which gives them, obviously, a hard time.
Have we not seen Mr. Dunlop go through yet on either of these little bikes?
Yeah, well, he's not been out yet. He's not featuring on the screen, but
because we're all curious to see. Obviously, he's chosen the Yamaha.
Yeah,
looks
absolutely.
Like, or he might jump on that twin. So
that is the big question. We're talking about Dom Herbertson, who's going very well and is set to improve his lap times across the board, really, for the RK Racing by Burrows Engineering. And John Burrows is standing by down in pit lane with Grace.
John, what do you make of that then? Your boy Dominic just under 130.
Yes, that was a good lap out really, and the fastest was went. I know we haven't had a lot of practice this week, but like everybody, but is shy of a 26, I think, of that bike. So to jump to a 29 there was quite a good jump, and he's just won't just be happy the way it's just settled yet. But we're going to make some more changes for this afternoon session, and hopefully we get him an hour. He said that it's not bad, but to do 6 laps it would be hard work.
Looked like some of those changes were underway just a moment ago. You were on your hands and knees there, lying. Your side of your face was on the floor doing what?
I was just taking the belly pan off, just checking it around the bottom engine, make sure it's okay, like no oil leaks and whatnot. But no, everything's fine. Stays way out now on the pattern to do 2 laps, and the plan is to go out to 600 and do 2 laps. We think we're a wee bit tight for fuel maybe in the 600, so we're leaving it to the last run. If he fails to get back, at least the session will be over then. So.
You were always known as a man who signed riders who were up and coming, who were younger guys. Obviously with Dominic now, an established rider, an established TT competitor, a changing tactic for Burrows.
As I say, Dominic is one of them up and coming riders really, is he? He's done a good job around here previously, and last year obviously he done his first 130 mile an hour lap as well. Look, obviously we've had riders who brought them to 128s, 29s, and it's nice to start with a rider that can throw in a 29 here before race week. So the plan would be to get Dominic back to 130 and see what else we can get out of him. But the first thing is to make sure he does it as safely as possible.
You seem very, very busy, maybe a little bit stressed. Are you enjoying it?
There's plenty happening with 4 bikes in here, so we have, so plenty happening. But no, it's all under control.
Best luck for TT.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I can translate there. It says there's no oil leak from the bike. They're really enjoying it, and Dominic Herbertson is all right. Yeah.
It looks like we've located Dunlop. He has actually just finished his final lap on his superbike and came in at a really solid 132 and some change.
Yes.
Went off my screen.
132.728 for Michael Dunlop on his superbike. So he'll now park that up, and at some point, hopefully, we'll be able to get a camera on him to find out what he opts to go out on, whether or not he fancies to play on his twin or whether he fancies the Super Sport.
Yellow flag's out into Ramsey. This is Schoolhouse. That might be still for the clearing up. I can't really see anything there. They give, because it's a quick round here, they give the riders a good distance to sort themselves out in a yellow flag situation.
Davey Coward at the moment, fastest to Balaf in Super Sport trim, ahead of Davey Todd and James Hind. As we now get a glimpse of
Yicky.
Peter Hickman.
Through Schoolhouse, obviously you can tell he's definitely taking heed of the yellow flags. That was really steady through Schoolhouse, quite rightly.
So, number 10, Peter Hickman, trying to get himself up to speed on his Super Sport.
Now this is Crookshanks and May Hill. Now this is where the incident with Rob Hodgson was, and we're going to see if this is a reason for the yellow flags. No, there's something else.
It's Hind from Hickman to Ramsey Hairpin, 2.4 seconds in it between James Hind and Peter Hickman. Paul Jordan, in fact, just going up into second, so Jordan going well. What about Davey Todd on his Ducati? He's been top in Superstock, he's been top in Superbike. Is he going to top this as well? I should just point out that also that Alphabet Kawasaki is going to go out on the twins. There's nothing wrong with that. And Davey Todd, perhaps not with so much experience Super Twins, there's nothing stopping Todd from slamming that straight on the podium and fighting for victories. 8.3 up on Jim Hind. There is Davey Todd.
Yep.
On the approach to Ramsey Hairpin.
That looked quick.
There's Coward, who's 7/10 quicker than Todd.
Yeah,
catching him on the road.
I was just going to say that looks like Jimmy Coward's trying.
So around Ramsey Hairpin, just being told that the yellow flags around here were for marshals just being moved around.
Okay, yeah. It was quite a bit before Whitegate.
Dom Herbertson there now on his twin, the Burrows Engineering pattern there. He loves this category. He said it handles like a 250 GP bike. Of course, Dom Herbertson continuing on with his Chasing the Racing podcast, and they've been rumbling on in the paddock here. Of course, continuing in memory of Chrissy Rouse, whose sister Grace is here on the islands, coordinating all of these podcasts for them.
Dom must be having the time of his life right now. He's on a perfect twin. He loves a twin. Weather's good, the track's good.
He's looking good as well in time-wise as well, Mark. He's well on his way here to setting his best ever Super Twin lap around the island. There's Karinga again on his Super Twin machine. AJ Venter. So Jamie Coward on the Super Sport, taking to this triumph really well, James.
Yeah, he is. You can just tell as soon as you saw him coming into view at Whitegates, you could just tell he was having a little bit of a go, using a lot of rope, bit smooth, and looked under control.
It's Mike Brown just flashing through there, number 14 on the Russell Racing Yamaha. There he is.
Yeah, we've been impressed with him.
He's been solid across the board.
Yeah.
Every class. I think the most impressive thing is the step forward he's made on the bigger bikes, because there's nothing wrong with him in Super Sport or Super Twins.
Yeah, I've been impressed with in the pits, because he's in the paddock he's been helping out, he's going and fetching tyres, and he seems an hard-working lad. He's on the road. Yep. Jamie Coward. Obviously getting on with that triumph.
The gap. What is the gap to Todd at the last?
There was barely anything in it at all. In fact, 7/10 of a second between Coward and Todd to Ramsey. Jim Hind is the first to the bungalow. So number 19 out there on North Links Components Suzuki. Very much self-run theme there.
And Jonathan Woodsey.
Yeah, just up ahead of Michael Rutter, isn't it?
There. If I get to learn something, Michael goes by.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's a less experienced rider, just about to be passed, I think, but on a slower bike by a more experienced, one of the most experienced riders, Michael Rutter.
McLean, your top three in Super Twins. So we get a quick shot of the helicopter over on the mountain there, and now through to the bungalow comes Davey Todd. Paul